So we are fresh off of DDP versus Sean Strickland. Just happened last night, and man, it went pretty much how I expected. I really wanted to upload a prediction video, but I didn't get around to it, and by the time I thought I might be able to do it, it was like 6 hours before, and I was like, whatever, we'll see. But basically, I thought it was going to be similar to how the first fight went, but I thought Dricus was actually going to improve and Sean was still going to get shut down the way he did, if not even in a more vicious fashion. And I guess I was wrong a little bit. I thought that DDP was actually going to be able to finish Sean Strickland in probably the 4th or 5th round. I thought he'd be able to submit him or TKO him, but unfortunately Dricus hasn't upped his skill level that much, still has a lot of growing to do, but he did very, very well. One of the big problems in the first fight is that Sean's the type of fighter where you need to either be standing still or he needs to be walking you down, and you can't be throwing too much his way. You can't be throwing too much his way or it breaks his momentum. He gets discouraged and he kind of gets in his head. He needs to either counter you, or typically what he does is he'll like punch right with you. Like right after your first punch, he'll like lean back and just start punching with you. It's a weird strategy, but it does kind of work. Or he pops you in if he pops you with a jab if you get too overzealous and start trying to come in too fast. It's basically his game plan. And then he has a front kick that pushes you back. But his offense is rendered pretty useless when you're the one coming in aggressively with shots and landing, especially like Dricus, who's just nonstop and incessant. I gotta say, Dricus actually looked better than he did in the first fight. He looked cleaner, he looked crisper, he looked more powerful. He was landing the Brazilian kicks. There's another name for him, I forget what it is. He was landing a lot of shots right from the get-go. He was incessant with the leg kicks. I was actually impressed that Sean took that many leg kicks. The thing I've noticed with Dricus, unfortunately, is that he doesn't have good technique. He doesn't have super good technique, so a lot of his power gets lost in his lack of technique, and I think that is one of the reasons why he does struggle with finishing people, because especially at the highest level, because a lot of that power does come from your technique, and a guy of his size should be putting away everyone. He's huge. He's a big dude. He should be putting away everyone, but he's not. And I think that comes from, again, a lack of understanding how to whip your body into a shot. However, he did look very crisp. He still looked faster and more powerful than we've seen him before. He broke Sean's nose. Sean said after the fight that his nose was broken into like 6 pieces. He did a good job. His cardio lasted up until like midway through the 3rd round, and then he slowed down significantly. He's gonna have to work on that, because even though he does have an ability to push through, he does tend to like die off at round 3 and 4, maybe even quicker sometimes. But yeah, man, he did a good job. I liked how defensively intelligent Dricus was from the beginning. He was very, very defensively intelligent. If anything happened he didn't like, he would just back out of range and just play around, feint, throw kicks until he found something he liked, and then he would come in and commit. So good on him. But Sean really needs to evolve his game plan. You know, he's always going to get beat by a guy like Dricus, who just comes forward and doesn't back up. Well, backs up when he needs to, but comes forward with fast, hard combinations and has an ability to do them again and again and again. He really does struggle with that. When he can't get his feet set and think for like 5-6 seconds in between every exchange, he does kind of like he just starts to get overwhelmed. He just starts to not know where he is. He starts to not know what he's doing. One of the biggest things too is when he goes backwards, instead of moving backwards normally with your back foot first, like that, where you go backwards, he backs up like this. So his feet will be like this. He like almost runs backwards. Your feet are so out of position when you do that. You don't have any sort of ability to counter effectively or to regain your base quickly. So one of the things he's always doing, especially in this fight, he's always regaining his base. He's spending so much time trying to get his feet under him because his footwork is terrible to begin with. Similar to Adesanya, but he does things a little bit differently. So it's not the same thing. But yeah, Very interesting. I don't know with Strickland if it's a coaching problem or if it's a him problem. I think it's a him problem. I think he just doesn't listen very well, and I think his coach, either he needs to get a coach who's going to force him to listen and who's going to force him to do what he says, or I mean, I think that's actually it. I don't really think there's another option. I think it's a Sean problem. I think he just probably doesn't listen very well, and his coach did the best he could with him, and you know, that was that. But he still made pretty much all the same mistakes and got shut down even harder. I mean, he got beat literally. I thought he might have won one round. I thought he actually did win one round pretty decisively. The rest, he lost. So, yeah. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. Dricus, as sloppy as he is, he does certain things very effectively and very proficiently and consistently. One of those is staying out of range if things get too dangerous. One of them is heavy pressure and moving a lot, so he's not in one place all the time. This fight, he did a lot of leg kicks, which, you know, damages your base and is going to prevent you from moving forward a lot, or even moving at all once your leg gets damaged. And it's also distracting. It keeps you busy. And then eventually he'll come upstairs with some of his sloppy overhands and hooks, but good percentage of them end up landing because you know, he's got your attention elsewhere. So yeah, he does some good things, and he does even more than that too. Oftentimes his hands are up, so even though he might not be in the best defensive position, like in terms of, like, he has this bad habit where after he throws punches, he'll just stop in front of you and just go like this. And it's like, at least his hands are up, but he just like stops in front of you. And oftentimes he gets hit. If he fixes that, he's going to be damn near unstoppable. But it's one of the big reasons why he keeps getting hit. So, you know, at least he's got his hands up, and he's very diligent about that, and it saves him a lot of times. So he's got to fix two big things. He's got to really learn how to put his hips into his shot so he can start knocking people out, fix his punching form. And he's got to stop staying in the pocket after he throws punches. If he can do those two things, he'll start putting people away, and he'll stop getting hit so much. So, be interesting to see. Strickland just needs to kind of redesign his whole game plan. He needs to be more of an MMA fighter, you know, and he needs to also fix his footwork too. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see how it goes. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Were you shocked? Is that what you thought was going to happen? Were you mad that Dricus won? Who do you think can beat Dricus? What's next for Dricus? So we'll have to see how it goes. It'll be interesting. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. This is The Art of Violence. Until next time.